Have you ever stood in the grocery aisle holding a bag of seeds, believing you were making one of the best possible choices for your health? We have all been told the same story, a comforting narrative woven by nutritionists, health magazines, and food marketers alike. Seeds are nature's tiny treasure chests, brimming with fiber, essential nutrients, and wholesome goodness. They are presented as the epitome of clean eating, a simple and direct way to connect with the earth's bounty and fortify our bodies against the ravages of time. We sprinkle them on our morning yogurt, blend them into our smoothies, and toss them into our salads, confident in our virtuous decision. But what if that story, the one so universally accepted and promoted, is dangerously incomplete? What if, lurking within some of the most popular and celebrated seeds we consume every single day, is a hidden threat that specifically and insidiously targets those of us over the age of 60? What if the very foods we turn to for protection are, in fact, contributing to our decline? The truth, which is slowly but surely emerging from the rigors of modern scientific investigation, is that the growing body of research is uncovering a much darker and more complex side to these supposed superfoods. This research reveals that certain seeds, due to their unique biochemical composition, can act as silent saboteurs inside our aging bodies. Instead of building us up, they can systematically tear us down, fueling the very chronic inflammation that stiffens our joints into painful immobility, clouds our minds with a persistent and frustrating fog, and weakens the delicate essential walls of our blood vessels, paving the way for devastating and life-altering events like stroke and heart failure. This is not a minor dietary quibble. It is a critical health warning that has been overlooked for far too long. The most terrifying part of this entire situation is the sheer lack of awareness. An estimated 99% of seniors are completely oblivious to this specific risk, actively and with the best of intentions consuming these potentially harmful seeds while believing they are diligently protecting their health for the long term. They are following the advice they have been given, purchasing the products marketed as heart-healthy and all-natural, never suspecting the Trojan horse they are welcoming into their systems. The disconnect between public perception and scientific reality is staggering. One truly shocking study, published in the esteemed Journal of Gerontology, delivered a chilling verdict. Researchers found that a single, common type of seed, one found in nearly every pantry in the country, increased key inflammatory markers in a cohort of older adults by a staggering 67% in just 3 short weeks of regular consumption. Imagine the cumulative damage over months or even years of daily intake. Yet, you can walk into any supermarket today and find this very seed prominently displayed in the health food aisle, often packaged in cheerful earth-toned bags and marketed as a premium, heart-healthy snack. This guide is not about fear-mongering, it is about empowerment. It is about pulling back the curtain of misinformation and giving you the crucial, unvarnished information you need to protect your vitality, to safeguard your cognitive function, and to preserve your precious mobility. In the following detailed exploration, we will expose the 4 seeds you should consider immediately removing from your pantry, and more importantly, reveal the 4 you should embrace on a daily basis to help reverse existing damage, restore your dwindling energy reserves, and reclaim the vibrant well-being you deserve. The first seed on our avoid list is almost certainly in your kitchen right now, and the number 1 seed on our must-eat list helped one of our most inspiring patients leave her walking cane behind for good, a testament to the profound power of making small, informed changes. The 4 seeds silently sabotaging your health. Sunflower seeds. They are the quintessential, seemingly innocent snack, a symbol of sunny days and wholesome simplicity. We see them everywhere, passed around in dugouts at ballparks, tossed generously onto vibrant salads in health-conscious cafes, and baked into dense granola bars, promising a sustained and healthy energy boost. Sunflower seeds are widely and relentlessly promoted for their high concentration of vitamin E, a valuable antioxidant, making them appear to be an unequivocally smart choice for anyone looking to improve their diet. For any individual over the age of 60, however, these tiny striped kernels can become a metabolic nightmare, quietly and persistently fanning the flames of chronic systemic inflammation throughout the body. The core of this significant problem lies in their extremely high and imbalanced concentration of omega-6 fatty acids. To understand the gravity of this, think of your body's intricate inflammatory system as a delicate balancing act, a biological scale that determines your daily level of pain, energy, and overall health. On one side of the scale, you have omega-3 fatty acids, the peacemakers. They are anti-inflammatory, helping to soothe and repair tissues, quiet down overactive immune responses, and ensure that all your internal systems run smoothly and efficiently. On the other side of the scale, you have omega-6 fatty acids. These are not inherently evil. In the right amount, they are pro-inflammatory in a necessary way, helping to initiate the acute healing response required to fight off infections or mend an injury. The problem arises, as it so often does in the modern diet, from a gross excess. When omega-6 fatty acids flood the system without a sufficient counterbalance of omega-3s, they are no longer helpful initiators. They become like gasoline poured on a smoldering fire, creating a perpetual state of low-grade body-wide inflammation that never gets a chance to be extinguished. According to a landmark 2022 study published in the journal Nutrition and Aging, the ideal healthy ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids in the human diet should be somewhere in the neighborhood of 4:1, or even as low as 1:1 for optimal health. However, in the typical Western diet, which is saturated with processed vegetable oils, this ratio is already dangerously skewed, often reaching 15:1 or higher. For seniors who then add a daily snack of sunflower seeds to this already imbalanced diet, that ratio can skyrocket to a hazardous 18:1, 20:1, or even higher. This profound and sustained imbalance creates a perfect storm for the development and exacerbation of numerous age-related diseases. It leads directly to painful, debilitating flare-ups in arthritic joints, causing the morning stiffness in the knees, hips, and hands that can make simply getting out of bed a monumental struggle. Furthermore, this systemic inflammation contributes significantly to the hardening and narrowing of arterial linings, a process known as atherosclerosis, which is a key and primary factor in the development of high blood pressure, coronary artery disease, and other life-threatening cardiovascular conditions. Consider the compelling story of Margaret, a 72-year-old retired librarian who came to our clinic complaining of persistently swollen ankles that made her favorite shoes unwearable, and a deep, unshakable fatigue that had stolen the joy from her golden years. By all appearances, she was a model of healthy living. She walked every single day, meticulously cooked her meals from scratch, and maintained a healthy weight throughout her life. After conducting a deep and thorough dive into her daily diet, we uncovered the hidden culprit. She was diligently adding a large handful of healthy roasted sunflower seeds to her daily salad and snacking on them throughout the afternoon for an energy lift. Her blood tests confirmed our deepest suspicions. Her C-reactive protein, CRP levels, a primary and highly reliable marker for systemic inflammation, were more than 3 times the upper limit of the safe and acceptable range. We immediately had her remove all sunflower seeds and oil from her diet and replace them with a balanced mix of other, safer seeds that we will discuss later. The results were nothing short of astonishing. Within just 10 days, the painful swelling in her ankles had visibly and dramatically reduced. Within 3 short weeks, her energy levels had rebounded so profoundly that her daily walk increased from a weary, shuffling 10 minutes to a brisk and joyful 40 minutes without any residual fatigue. A follow-up blood test was the final confirmation. Her inflammation markers had plummeted by an incredible 42%. If you are over the age of 60, and especially if you contend with any form of arthritis, unexplained fatigue, or high cholesterol, it is critically time to rethink the sunflower seed or cottonseed. This is the true invisible enemy, the nutritional saboteur that you will likely never see or purchase knowingly. You will not find people sprinkling whole cottonseed on their morning yogurt or buying it in bulk bags from the health food store. Its immense danger lies in its utter stealth, as it is expertly hidden deep within the convoluted ingredient lists of countless processed and packaged foods that line our supermarket shelves, from so-called whole-grain crackers and boxed granola cereals to supposedly healthy, low-calorie salad dressings and commercial margarines. Cottonseed oil, which is extracted from the very same plant that gives us the fibers for our clothing, is one of the cheapest, most stable, and therefore most widely used oils in the entire industrial food system. But its low cost to manufacturers comes at a terrifyingly high price to our long-term health, particularly as we age. The primary danger of cottonseed is that it contains a potent natural toxin called gossypol. This compound is produced by the cotton plant as a built-in powerful pesticide, a defense mechanism designed to protect the valuable seeds from being eaten by insects and other pests. While gossypol is undeniably effective at keeping bugs away, it has been shown in numerous scientific studies to be incredibly harmful to human cells, with its negative effects being particularly pronounced and dangerous in older adults. The refining process for the oil removes much, but not all, of this toxin, and the cumulative exposure from a diet rich in processed foods can be significant. Scientific reviews and toxicological reports have extensively documented the multifaceted harm caused by gossypol. It has been shown to directly interfere with the heart's delicate and complex electrical signaling pathways, which can lead to dangerous arrhythmias and palpitations. It also actively blocks the uptake and utilization of calcium in muscle cells, contributing to muscle weakness and cramps. Most critically, gossypol has been found to severely impair mitochondrial function. Mitochondria are the microscopic powerhouses inside every single cell of your body, responsible for generating the energy currency, ATP, that fuels all life processes. When mitochondrial function is compromised, the result is a profound cellular-level fatigue that cannot be fixed with sleep or caffeine. A comprehensive 2016 review in the journal Toxicology Reports detailed exactly how gossypol exposure leads to massive oxidative stress in cardiac tissue and severely disrupts the body's regulation of potassium, an electrolyte essential for heart rhythm and nerve function. Both of these effects dramatically increase the risk of heart arrhythmias and sudden, unexplained, and profound fatigue. Seniors are especially vulnerable to this type of chemical assault because our natural detoxification systems, primarily the liver and kidneys, tend to slow down and become less efficient with age. Furthermore, our delicate electrolyte balance becomes more fragile, making us far less equipped to handle and neutralize toxins like gossypol. Joan, a 70-year-old woman, experienced this devastating process firsthand. After a stern warning from her doctor about her rising cholesterol levels, she diligently and conscientiously switched to a low-fat diet, stocking her pantry with what she firmly believed were healthier choices. But within a single month of this dietary change, she was plagued by a crushing fatigue that left her bedridden for hours a day, terrifying fluttering sensations in her chest, and bizarre, painful muscle cramps that she described as feeling like insects crawling under her skin. Her ECG results were borderline abnormal, but not alarming enough for her doctor to prescribe specific medication, leaving her in a frightening state of diagnostic limbo. When we conducted a thorough nutrition audit with her, we made a shocking discovery. Cottonseed oil was listed as one of the top 3 ingredients in nearly every single packaged product she was eating: her crackers, her light margarine, and her bottled vinaigrette. We immediately designed a clear and simple plan to cut out all products containing it, replacing her packaged snacks with whole foods like roasted chickpeas, fresh avocado slices, and simple homemade dressings made with extra virgin olive oil. The transformation was swift and profound. Within 2 short weeks, her terrifying and painful muscle spasms had stopped completely. By the end of the 3rd week, her heart palpitations had vanished entirely. She called our office, her voice full of life and energy, to say that she felt alive again for the first time in months. This is a stark reminder to always read the label. If you see cottonseed oil listed as an ingredient, no matter how far down the list, put the product back on the shelf and choose something else. Sesame seeds. Sesame seeds are truly ubiquitous in modern cuisine, a global ingredient found in a vast array of foods. They are the familiar decoration on hamburger buns. They form the creamy, rich base of beloved Middle Eastern staples like tahini and hummus. They are drizzled in oil form over countless Asian stir-fries, and they are baked into trendy superseed crackers and breads. But for those of us over the age of 60, these popular and seemingly harmless seeds harbor a significant dual threat that can disrupt our delicate nutrient balance and trigger hidden, low-grade immune reactions that slowly erode our health over time. As our digestive systems age, they naturally become more sensitive and often slower to process and detoxify potential inflammatory triggers. The production of stomach acid and digestive enzymes can decline, making us inherently more susceptible to the specific problems that the common pale hulled sesame seed can cause. The first major issue stems from compounds called phytates, which are heavily concentrated in the outer hull of many seeds, but are still present in hulled sesame seeds. Phytates, often referred to as anti-nutrients, act like aggressive mineral thieves within our digestive tract. They have a chemical structure that allows them to bind tightly to essential minerals like calcium, magnesium, zinc, and iron in the gut, forming an insoluble complex that prevents these vital nutrients from being absorbed into the bloodstream where they are needed. For a young, robust person with a highly efficient digestive system, this mineral blockade might not be clinically significant. But for seniors who are already at a heightened risk for multiple nutrient deficiencies, this effect can be profoundly serious. A rigorous 2020 study published in the prestigious American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that diets high in phytates decreased the net absorption of calcium in older adult participants by up to a staggering 27%, a reduction that directly and significantly increases the long-term risk for osteoporosis, bone fragility, and life-altering fractures. The even greater and more insidious concern with sesame, however, is the alarming and well-documented rise in adult-onset sesame allergies and sensitivities. The problem became so widespread and severe in recent years that in 2023, the US Food and Drug Administration, FDA, officially recognized sesame as the 9th major food allergen, placing it in the same category as peanuts, milk, and shellfish, and requiring it to be clearly labeled on all packaged foods. The critical point for seniors is that these allergic or sensitivity responses are often not the dramatic and obvious reactions we typically associate with allergies, such as anaphylactic shock. Instead, they frequently manifest as a collection of nagging, chronic, and seemingly unrelated issues that are very rarely traced back to a food source. Persistent sinus congestion and postnasal drip, mysterious and stubborn skin rashes like eczema, constant sneezing or a perpetually runny nose, or a low-grade pervasive fatigue that never seems to lift, no matter how much you rest. We saw a classic and heartbreaking case of this with Linda, a 69-year-old retired nurse who was suffering from severe migrating joint pain, stubborn, dry, and itchy patches on her elbows and knees, and constant, uncomfortable bloating. She had already tried eliminating dairy, gluten, and red meat from her diet with absolutely no success and was growing increasingly desperate. An IG food sensitivity test, which measures the body's immune response to various foods, revealed a powerful and undeniable reaction to sesame that had gone completely undetected for years. The culprit was immediately obvious. She had been eating a large portion of hummus, which is made from ground sesame paste, every single day as a healthy snack. Once we removed all forms of sesame from her diet, including tahini and sesame oil, and had her switch to healthy fats from sources like avocado and walnuts, her body finally began to heal. Within 2 weeks, her skin had almost completely cleared, her gut had calmed, and the debilitating joint pain that had tormented her for 6 long years was nearly gone. She tearfully told us that she felt 15 years younger. It is imperative to be cautious with hummus, tahini, and sesame oil. Safer alternatives exist that can provide the creamy texture and healthy fats you desire without the significant underlying risks. Chia seeds. This particular seed on our list may come as a genuine shock, as it directly contradicts years of mainstream health advice. The number one seed to be wary of after the age of 60, at least when it is consumed incorrectly, is the celebrated and universally lauded chia seed. Yes, the very same tiny black seed that health influencers, celebrity doctors, and registered dietitians have praised for years as the ultimate superfood. It is hailed for its fiber, its omega-3 content, and its ability to promote satiety. But here is the critical and potentially life-saving piece of information that these endorsements almost always leave out. When consumed dry or improperly soaked, chia seeds represent a serious and documented choking and blockage hazard for older adults. This danger is a direct result of their incredible hydrophilic properties. A single tiny chia seed has the astonishing ability to absorb up to 12 times its own weight in liquid. As it absorbs this liquid, it doesn't just get wet, it expands and transforms into a thick, dense, gelatinous mass. In a youthful, strong, and efficient digestive system, this gelling action can be beneficial, helping to slow digestion and promote fullness. But for seniors, who often have slower gut motility, a higher prevalence of acid reflux GERD, or any form of age-related narrowing of the esophagus, known as a stricture, this rapid expansion can create a solid, impassable blockage that functions like a plug of cement in the digestive tract. The official medical literature is filled with alarming case studies of older adults experiencing severe choking episodes, intractable constipation, and even complete esophageal impaction requiring emergency endoscopic or surgical removal of a hardened chia seed mass. One particularly harrowing report published in the Annals of Emergency Medicine described the case of a 72-year-old man who developed a full throat obstruction just 1 hour after swallowing a single tablespoon of dry chia seeds, followed by a glass of water. He thought he was doing something healthy, trying to clean out his system. Instead, it resulted in a terrifying trip to the emergency room and nearly cost him his life. We had a patient named Roberto, a 74-year-old former truck driver with a long-standing history of acid reflux, who experienced a less dramatic but equally distressing version of this problem. His daughter, wanting the very best for her father's health, bought him a superfood powder blend that contained a significant amount of ground chia seeds. He began adding a scoop of this powder to his dry morning cereal and into his smoothies each morning without pre-soaking it, assuming the liquid in the milk or smoothie would be sufficient. Within a single week, he began experiencing intense, painful bloating, sharp, stabbing abdominal pains, and constipation so severe that he went 5 full days without a bowel movement. By the time he came to our office, his abdomen was visibly distended and tight as a drum, and he looked pale, exhausted, and was in considerable distress. We immediately identified the unsoaked chia as the likely culprit. Stopped. The powder prescribed a gentle laxative to help clear the blockage and had him switch to a much safer alternative of properly soaked flax seeds for his fiber. He was back to his normal self within 3 days, profoundly relieved and a little shaken by the experience. It is crucial to understand that chia seeds themselves are not evil. They are indeed packed with beneficial fiber, plant-based omega-3s, and valuable antioxidants. But for seniors, they come with a non-negotiable, absolute rule for safe consumption. They must be fully soaked in a generous amount of liquid for at least 30 minutes, or until they have visibly transformed into a complete, uniform gel before they are ever swallowed. Never, ever eat them dry, sprinkled on food or mixed into a dry powder blend. The risk is simply too great. Or the 4 seeds that can rebuild your vitality. Black sesame seeds. After the stern warning about the common pale sesame seeds, this recommendation may seem surprising or even contradictory, but it is essential to understand that we are not talking about the same food. We are not referring to the pale, hulled white sesame seeds that are used to make most commercial tahini and are sprinkled on bread. We are talking about black sesame seeds, unhulled, unrefined, and nutritionally existing in a league entirely of their own. These small dark seeds are an absolute powerhouse of unique compounds called lignans and other potent antioxidants that are particularly effective at reducing the oxidative stress that damages aging brain cells and the delicate endothelial lining of our blood vessels. Unlike their common white counterpart, which is stripped of its nutrient-rich outer shell during processing, black sesame seeds retain their full, robust mineral content and have been revered for centuries in traditional Chinese medicine and other Eastern healing traditions as a primary tool for promoting longevity, vitality, and what is referred to as Jing, or life essence. A fascinating 2021 study published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry demonstrated truly remarkable results in a group of older adult participants. Individuals aged 65 to 78 who consumed just 2 teaspoons of ground black sesame seeds daily for a period of 60 days experienced, on average, a significant 13% drop in their systolic blood pressure and, remarkably, scored an average of 22% higher on standardized memory recall and cognitive function tests compared to the control group. This suggests a powerful dual-action benefit for both cardiovascular and neurological health. Siam, a 70-year-old retired math teacher, came to our clinic feeling increasingly forgetful, mentally scattered, and chronically drained of energy. Her blood pressure was steadily creeping into the high range, and her neurologist had recently warned her that she was showing early signs of risk for mild cognitive impairment, a diagnosis that she, as a lifelong academic, found terrifying. Instead of immediately starting her on a regimen of prescription medications, we introduced a simple, ancient daily ritual: 1 teaspoon of freshly ground black sesame seeds, mixed with a little bit of raw honey and warm water, consumed each morning before breakfast. The change that occurred over the next month was truly remarkable and deeply moving to witness. Her mental focus sharpened noticeably, and she joyfully told us that she could suddenly recall the specific names of students she had not taught in over 2 decades, memories she thought were lost forever. Just as impressively, her blood pressure, which her doctor had been monitoring closely, dropped from a worrisome 142/88 down to a healthy and stable 128/80 without any pharmaceutical intervention whatsoever. The key to unlocking these benefits lies in the specificity. It must be black, not white, sesame. To make the nutrients fully bioavailable, the seeds should be consumed ground. A simple coffee grinder works perfectly, or soaked overnight, and it should be incorporated as a small, consistent part of a diverse and balanced diet. For any senior seeking to improve their mental clarity, protect their memory, and support their vascular system, these tiny black seeds are a formidable and delicious ally. Some flax seeds. Flax seeds are the quiet, unassuming champions of the senior diet. They do not have the flashy marketing campaigns or the celebrity endorsements that propel other superfoods into the spotlight, but their effects inside the aging body are nothing short of extraordinary. These humble, golden brown seeds are one of the very best plant-based sources of a specific type of omega-3 fat called alpha-linolenic acid, ALA. This particular fatty acid is a powerful precursor to other omega-3s in the body and directly combats systemic inflammation at its source. Even more importantly for the aging population, flax seeds are the richest known dietary source on the entire planet of those powerful plant compounds we mentioned earlier, lignans. In the human body, these unique phytoestrogens can help to gently and naturally balance hormones, which is especially beneficial for postmenopausal women. They also dramatically improve digestive regularity by providing a perfect blend of soluble and insoluble fiber, and they offer powerful, multifaceted protection for the heart and cardiovascular system. In 2018, a significant and well-designed study published in the journal Hypertension Research followed 110 older adults who all had borderline high blood pressure. Half of the participants were given a daily muffin containing 30 grams, about 2 tablespoons, of ground flaxseed, while the other half of the group received a placebo muffin that looked and tasted identical but contained no flax. After 6 months of this simple intervention, the flaxseed group showed an average reduction of a remarkable 15 points in their systolic blood pressure, the top number, and 7 points in their diastolic pressure, the bottom number. That level of improvement is on par with, or even superior to, the effects of many first-line blood pressure medications, but it comes without any of the potential negative side effects associated with pharmaceuticals. We witnessed this incredible power firsthand with Yusuf, a 68-year-old retired taxi driver who had battled stubbornly high cholesterol and chronic, uncomfortable constipation for the better part of 2 decades. On the advice of his concerned daughter, he started stirring ground flaxseed into his morning yogurt. We advised him to start small, with just 1 teaspoon per day to allow his digestive system to adjust, and then gradually build up to a maintenance dose of 2 tablespoons. By the 3rd week of this new habit, he reported having daily, effortless, and complete bowel movements for the first time in his entire adult life, a change that he described as life-altering. His follow-up lab results were just as impressive and validating. Over the course of 3 months, his total cholesterol dropped from a high-risk 218 down to a healthy 174, and his triglyceride levels, a key marker for heart disease risk, fell by an amazing 33%, more than just the chai-da numbers on a lab report. He described a subjective feeling of lightness and well-being, telling us that his stomach no longer felt heavy, bloated, and tight after meals. To unlock the immense benefits of flax seeds, it is absolutely essential that you grind them. Whole seeds have a tough outer hull that the human digestive system cannot break down, meaning they will pass through your system completely undigested, providing no nutritional benefit. You can easily buy it pre-ground, but be sure to store it in an airtight container in the refrigerator, as its delicate and beneficial oils can go rancid very quickly when exposed to heat, light, and air. For any senior dealing with stiffening arteries, sluggish digestion, or rising cholesterol numbers, incorporating ground flaxseed is one of the most effective, affordable, and impactful daily habits you can possibly adopt. On pumpkin seeds. Often carelessly scooped out and discarded after the annual tradition of carving a Halloween pumpkin, these small, flat, green seeds, also known by their Spanish name pepitas, are in fact one of the most nutrient-dense and medicinally powerful foods on the planet. They are particularly vital for the health and well-being of seniors because they are absolutely loaded with 2 crucial minerals that are frequently deficient in the aging population: zinc and magnesium. Zinc is a true cornerstone of the immune system, playing a major and indispensable role in fending off infections, promoting rapid wound healing, and repairing and building lean muscle tissue. Zinc deficiency is remarkably common in older adults, often due to a natural decline in the stomach acid that is required for its proper absorption from food. This deficiency can manifest in very common yet often overlooked ways: slow healing cuts and bruises, a susceptibility to frequent colds and other infections, a diminished sense of taste and smell, and a gradual, progressive muscle weakness that is often tragically and incorrectly mistaken for an inevitable and irreversible part of the aging process. Pumpkin seeds are also packed with the master mineral magnesium, a critically important nutrient that is involved as a cofactor in over 300 essential biochemical processes in the body. One of its most important roles for seniors is regulating muscle contraction and relaxation. A fascinating 2019 study published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed a group of older adults who were suffering from chronic nighttime leg cramps and poor interrupted sleep. After adding just 30 grams, equivalent to about a small handful, of pumpkin seeds to their diet daily for a period of 4 weeks, an incredible 71% of the participants reported significant measurable improvements in their overall sleep quality, and the frequency and intensity of their painful leg cramps was reduced by nearly half. Adil, a 73-year-old man who had worked in heavy construction his entire life, came to our clinic complaining of severe restless legs syndrome at night that made it nearly impossible for him to get a decent night's sleep, along with a strange and persistent tingling sensation in his calves during the day. He was already taking a calcium supplement and was diligent about drinking plenty of water, but nothing he tried seemed to help his agonizing symptoms. Our initial lab testing revealed what we suspected. His magnesium levels were clinically low, and his zinc levels were borderline deficient. We instructed him to make one simple change: to eat a small handful of lightly roasted, unsalted pumpkin seeds each day, making sure to chew them slowly and thoroughly. The effect was almost immediate and far more powerful than he had expected. Within just 2 weeks, the nightly cramps and the uncontrollable urge to move his legs were completely gone. After a month of this new habit, he was sleeping soundly and deeply through the night for the first time in years. His wife joked that she could finally get some sleep too, now that his constant jumping legs had finally stopped. For any senior who is struggling with age-related muscle loss, sarcopenia, poor sleep quality, slow healing, or a weakened immune system, a daily handful of pumpkin seeds can very often be the simple, natural, and missing piece of the nutritional puzzle. Hemp seeds. And now we arrive at the number one seed that every single senior should consider eating on a daily basis for profound whole body benefits: hemp seeds. It is important to state this clearly and immediately. These tiny, soft, and nutty tasting seeds come from the cannabis sativa plant, but they contain zero or only trace amounts of THC, the psychoactive component associated with marijuana. They are a purely nutritional food with no intoxicating effects whatsoever. What they do contain is pure nutritional gold. Hemp seeds, also known as hemp hearts, boast one of the most perfectly balanced and biologically ideal ratios of omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acids found in any whole food, making them a powerful, natural, and direct anti-inflammatory agent. They are also a rich and rare source of a unique fatty acid called gamma-linolenic acid, GLA, a potent anti-inflammatory compound that has been shown in clinical studies to help regulate hormones, soothe the pain and inflammation of rheumatoid arthritis, and support a healthy metabolism and,